What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quarter, and kind of a tough topic, or at least spicy. It's a minefield to be talking about, but it's the news and it's important. If you don't watch regular basic cable television, you probably don't know who Nick Cannon is. Well, he's been around Nickelodeon, he had a brief music career, he hosted America's Got Talent, and I think he's got a gig on excuse me, The Masked Singer for now. He put out a podcast, which I covered last night. I'm not going to go super into detail into everything he said. I spent more time on that last night. Just some of the highlights of the things that he said, okay? Let me be very, very clear. As somebody who is called all sorts of terrible things on Twitter, while guys like this are propped up, which I'm going to cover in a minute, I believe Nick Cannon believes what he says. I believe Nick Cannon is anti-white, and I believe he is anti-Jew. It's not even open for interpretation. That doesn't mean that he can't be enlightened, that he can't turn his views around and understand that the things that he is saying are ridiculous. It's also frustrating to me that most of the media is only focusing on one half of the things he said. What were some of the things he said? Well, how about this? When we talk about the power of melanated people, we talk about who we are as gods, and understanding that melanin is so powerful and it connects us in a way. The reason why they, who are they, Nick, fear black, the reason they fear us is the lack that they have it. When you see, he goes on to say, there's a fear and that deficiency when you see a person that has a lack of pigment, the lack of melanin, that they know that they will be annihilated. So therefore, however they got power, they lack compassion. Melanin comes with compassion. So I suppose, Nick Cannon, I can't feel bad for you as I lack the melanin to be able to. Melanin comes with soul. We call it soul. We call ourselves soul brothers and sisters. So the people that don't have it are in, and I'm saying this carefully, a little less. I want to read that again. Nick Cannon has said that if you do not have melanin, you are subhuman, or you are less than those with. He is literally espousing what can only be described as the type of thing you might have heard from the screaming mustachioed leader of Germany during World War II. And where that term actually comes from, I'm bringing it all the way back around to Minister Farrakhan. By the way, that man is basically deplatformed on every possible platform, and that's deplatformed on platforms. He's also compared Jews to termites and many other great hot takes from somebody who is so fondly looked upon in the black community. You wonder why you had in the last week major athletes, wide receiver Deshaun Jackson from the Philadelphia Eagles. Then you had an NBA player backing him. Then you had Nick Cannon. They literally feel there are no repercussions, so they can just come out and say, take the mask off, let us know how they really feel. And I'm glad, because in my opinion, Nick Cannon has garbage opinions. He goes, they might not have compassion. When they were sent to the mountains, when they didn't have the power of the sun, when the sun started to deteriorate them, that's when they're acting out of fear. They're acting out of low self-esteem. They're acting out of a deficiency. So therefore, they can only act evil. This is whites and Jews, by the way, that he's talking. I want to be very clear who he means when he says they. And I think specifically he's talking about Jews. He does. That's my opinion. But what I can say is a fact is he's talking about whites and Jews. Cannon still wasn't done. They had to be savages. They had to be barbaric because they're in these Nordic mountains. They're in these rough, torrential environments. They're eating as animals, so they're the ones that act closer to animals, he said. They're the ones that are actually true savages. They've built up, I won't say warrior, but they've built up this conquering barbaric mentality. Kennan also praised Louis Farrakhan, who's also a piece of garbage, who has supported the black community as a leader of the Nation of Islam. However, he has been identified by the SPLC as both phobic and anti-Semitic. After these comments went viral, Cannon responded with an unhinged rant. Now, last night, he was fired. I want to bring up that. Viacom makes a statement. Now, many people pointed out that Viacom only called out one side of his bigotry. And I don't want to be that guy, but I don't know. The official statement does seem to allude that they had some issues with it, right? It says, Viacom CVS condemns bigotry of any kind, and we categorically denounce all forms of anti-Semitism. We have spoken with Nick about the episode of his podcast, Canon Class, on YouTube, which promoted this terrible speech and conspiracy theories. While we support the ongoing education and dialogue in the fight against these things, we are deeply troubled that Nick has failed to acknowledge or apologize for perpetuating these ideas, and we are terminating our relationship with him. We are committed to doing better in our response to these incidents. So I think that they did kind of announce, they did denounce both his anti-white and his anti-Jewish opinions. What's interesting to me, the most disheartening part of this is this morning, a trending hashtag around Nick Cannon is out, and it is literally a den of just the worst ideas, the most backwards ideas. Like, I don't ever want to hear some blue-haired land whale ever tell me again that black people can't be racist. I don't want to hear it. Crazy how quickly and severely black and POC entertainers and artists are canceled compared to white ones. Are you kidding me, Golden Girl? Who's going to tell him? I don't even care about that. I don't even care about that. He got fired because he correctly gave the characteristics of white people. That's the thing white people keep yelling about. First Amendment rights. Now, I didn't want him fired. Would never have called for his job. But I mean, if you work in Hollywood and you're espousing anti-Semitism, you're probably not going to work there very long. It's ridiculous. He wasn't canceled, by the way. He has tons of support. I don't care about, you could say he didn't get fired for the white people comments. He really didn't. You just don't say anti-Semitic, you don't, seriously, if you want to keep your job. I didn't know you were this stupid. Yeah, to be honest with you, he wasn't fired for his anti-white rhetoric. We know this. That kind of thing is glorified in Hollywood. You see some people in here, if you want to see racism, read the Dang Nick trend and watch people defending Nick for his anti-white, anti-Semitic rant. They say freedom of speech. I assume they want Tucker Carlson's writer who said anti-black things and was fired hired back too, correct? I mean, it's insane. Look at some of these comments. You mean fake Jews? Synagogue of Satan? They call anyone who isn't this a Jewish goyim cattle. They hide behind Semitic so they can never be criticized. They run the entire United States, not just the media. I mean, it is insane. You'd think you were on like the Daily Stormer website, but these are all black folks saying this stuff. Y'all love rebellions and revolutions till... Oh, wait. That's not a fair saying. That's not in regards... That's 528. That's not in regards to Nick. I don't believe. How many Jewish people can you name or identify right now that run the entertainment industry? Stop pushing this Klan BS. They've been saying the literal same thing for decades now. I was called this because for saying entertainment industry is owned and run by Jews, which is true. Now look how quickly Nick Cannon was fired for those remarks. See how that works? White and black people can anything, I'm assuming, say anything about each other, but don't touch who? I mean, I don't even want to give these people much of a platform, but if you feel like losing faith in humanity, you can look at this trending topic. Now, I believe he will be fired from Fox today as well. Will Nick Cannon be fired from his Fox's Masked Singer gig next? I'm almost certain he will. Because, again, I couldn't believe that Deshaun Jackson wasn't fired from the Philadelphia Eagles for saying what he did. And there was somebody else last night, late last night, who defended... Actually, I want to bring that up quick. Here. Steven Jackson says Deshaun Jackson is, quote, speaking the truth, adds his own anti-Semitic claims. These are prominent, powerful black figures right out in the open saying that some of the most heinous stuff. And people are just like, yeah, well, they're black, so probably not going to say anything. I make one joke and I got 25,000 people liking a tweet of some idiot calling me a Nazi. You know what I mean? Like, what is this? Are you crazy? These opinions are bad no matter who says them, no matter what the color of their skin. And the fact that people are willing to give a pass or even support them for their opinions is shocking and saddening. Nick Cannon, I hope that you learn, renounce, and move forward in your life. You're worth $30 million and you've been fired. Here's the how I want to end things on a tweet I even put out last night. Essentially, Nick Cannon is worth $30 million. He doesn't like Jews and he doesn't like white people. He was fired for saying that out loud. It's not going to change his opinion, and that's the saddest part. It's only going to galvanize it. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.